Thanks for watching ERi-TV, dear viewers. Welcome to our news broadcast. First, a quick look at the major headlines tonight. Training on agricultural business administration to women. Also, training on administration and leadership skills. Nigerian army repels attack and kills 8 jihadists. Argentine physicians protest over low wages. In our domestic news, Eritrean Women Agro-Business Association, in cooperation with the National Confederation of Eritrean Workers, organized training from 20 September to 31 October to over 40 women, focusing on business administration and initiating agricultural activity. Ms. Sanaitis Valadet, chairperson of the association, said the objective of the training was to enable women that wish to engage in the business have basic knowledge, and to those that are already in the business to further develop their capacity. Ms. Sanait called on the trainees to apply the training they have acquired in developing their activities and expressed readiness of the association to support them in all their endeavors. Speaking at the occasion, Mr. Arafai Nabarha, Minister of Agriculture, said that the Ministry of Agriculture, in cooperation with partners, will continue encouraging the participation of women in agricultural activities and expressed readiness of the Ministry to support them in all their endeavors. The Eritrean Women Agro-Industry Association was established in 2003 and comprises women that are engaged in agricultural businesses. Training on administration and leadership was organized to 40 women workers selected from 20 government institutions in Agordat subzone. Mr. Meron Gabrahiwat, head of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students, said that the objective of the training that was provided from 21 to 23 October was to develop the overall capacity of the women workers with a view to enable them provide efficient and timely service to the public. Speaking at the closing event of the training on 23 October, Mr. Suleiman Yusuf, head of organizational affairs of the Union branch in Gashbarka region, said that developing capacity of women is a manifestation of a developed society. He called on the trainees to strengthen participation in the efforts to avoid harmful practices that are negatively affecting the development of women, pointing out that the training is part and parcel of the effort to produce youth equipped with the necessary knowledge and skill. Mr. Isa Ta'um, administrator of the subzone, called on the women workers to take advantage of the opportunity being provided. In the same vein, the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students in the subzone, in cooperation with the Ministry of Health branch, organized 2 months training on first aid to over 50 members of the Eritrean Defense Force. At a meeting conducted on 21 October in Tesene subzone, calls were made for conducting sustainable environmental sanitation activities with a view to control the prevalence of malaria in the subzone. At a meeting conducted on 21 October in Tesene, Mr. Amani Al-Maharat Ab, entomologist in Gashbarka region, called for sustainable environmental sanitation activity, including clearing mosquito breeding areas, as well as proper use of impregnated bed nets. Indicating that Tesene subzone is one of the subzones in Gashbarka region known for its mosquito prevalence, Mr. Awat Mabratu, head of public health and laboratory expert in the region, said that as a result of the distribution of impregnated bed nets to the public and spraying pesticides, the prevalence of malaria has significantly been reduced. Reminding for sustainable awareness-raising activities on health issues, Mr. Sultan Hagos, head of the Ministry of Health branch in the subzone, called for reporting on time to nearby health facilities in cases of symptoms of the disease. Those are domestic news. Please stay tuned for the international right after the short break. The Nigerian army has repelled an attack on a military base in western Nigeria where nearly 1,700 jihadists are being held, killing 8 suspected insurgents affiliated with the Islamic State group, 2 military sources said Monday. Dozens of Islamic State in West Africa ISWAP fighters tried to break into the Wawa military base in Niger State near the border with Benin on Saturday to free hundreds of jihadists. Two officials told AFP on conditions of anonymity. The attack is a reminder of ISWAP's ability to strike hundreds of kilometers from its northeastern stronghold, where the army is fighting a 13-year-old jihadist insurgency. There was no official comment from the army. The soldiers had been alerted by intelligence and were waiting for the insurgents to attack the base, said a second officer who gave the same account. The heavily armed jihadists tried to blow up the base gates but met stiff resistance from the soldiers. Last July, ISWAP fighters attacked Kuje prison, located near the capital Abuja, and freed hundreds of detainees, including many jihadi commanders. Between 2017 to 2018, the Wawa base had been used as a court to try hundreds of Boko Haram and ISWAP jihadists. Argentine physicians took to the streets of Buenos Aires yesterday in protest over low wages, poor working conditions, and inequality within the sector. Medics gathered at 9 de Mayo Avenue, one of Buenos Aires' main streets, and marched to the health ministry to demand better wages. The crisis in Argentina's public health system has worsened in recent months following the COVID-19 pandemic and health budget adjustment approved by Congress at the national government's request and agreed with the International Monetary Fund. Please stay tuned now for a recap of tonight's headlines. Training on agricultural business administration to women. Training on administration and leadership skills. Nigerian army repels attack and kills 8 jihadists. Argentine physicians protest over low wages. And that was our news for tonight, dear viewers. It is good night from us.